Hi, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be testing a Soy Wax Golden 464, which is quite a popular wax among a lot of candle makers. So let's test it out and see what's going on. We're going to dump it in our wax melter, then we're going to test it. So we're going to wick it with a TCR wick, a Stabilo wick and a CL wick, and then we're going to heat it up to 70 degrees, cool it down to 60 degrees, add the scent, and then cool it down to a further 50 degrees, and then we're going to pour it into some jars. That's going to be the standard procedure for all of my testing. From previous things I've worked on, it tends to work pretty well for most waxes, so let's give it a go. Obviously there are more guidelines on the internet for each wax, but I'm going to ignore them and do my own thing. Whether or not that works out, we'll find out. Golden 464 Soy Wax isn't something I've used before, but I have used Soy Wax before, so I sort of knew what I was getting myself into. So I'm going to be testing this wax with 3 different types of wicks, like I mentioned earlier. A TCR wick 2412, a Stabilo 12 and a CL 12. Yeah, I'm not going to do anything special. I'm just going to melt the wax down and just continue candle making like normal, and then test it really, do some burn tests. I'm going to be making 3 200ml candles using up some old supplies. We're going to be using some old jars from a previous line, a scent I've got laying around which is some supplies for candles. It smells pretty good, and we're going to be using a fragrance load of 9%. I think Golden 464 Soy Wax is a good one to start this series with, as it's quite popular online, it's got good reviews and is widely available. So here's some information about Golden 464 that I found on the internet. The wax comes in flaked format, it has a melting point of 45 to 48 degrees, which seems quite low, and a fragrance load of up to 10%. At the moment you can expect to pay about £130 for a 22 kilo box, so it is quite expensive, but the price of everything wax related and candle related has gone up massively. It's going to be a fun and interesting video series to geek out as a candle maker, especially beginners. When I first started candle making, I had no idea there was this much to it, and these were the kind of sort of videos I was looking for, real life application, so I could see what I'm sort of trying to achieve when I make a candle in terms of melt pool, wicking, mushrooming, and just how they perform. So this is the next day. At first glance they look pretty good. The tops are a little bit bumpy, that can be solved easily with a heat gun, and the sides look nice. It has got some good glass adhesion, but there are a few wet spots. Nothing too concerning, but we'll see how they perform. So we're going to let them cure for a bit and then test them. We've let them cure for a few days and now we're going to test them. I'm not going to bother waiting like a couple of weeks to test it. I don't think it's necessary. Right, so this is 1 hour in. Let's have a look. So the TCR wick, that's 2412, seems to be doing pretty well. Stabilo 12, I think it's struggling a little bit, but it might get there. And then the CL wick, that's the CL 12, that's doing pretty well as well. At the moment no mushroom in, so we'll see how it goes over the next 4-hour burn test. So starting on the left, we've got the TCR, doing pretty well. It's red up to the edge on one side, so I think I'm pretty confident that will get full burn by 4 hours, like a full melt pool. Stabilo wick, still struggling a bit. I am not very optimistic about that one. And then the CL wick, that's also doing a pretty good job. I'm pretty confident that will get a full melt pool by 4 hours as well. And the hot throw at the moment is pretty decent, so we'll check back at 3 hours. But so far, pretty happy with it, apart from the Stabilo wick. Right, hour 3. Back to the TCR, pretty much getting there. I think it might get there by about 4 hours. Stabilo wick still struggling a bit. CL wick definitely doing the best. I think that'll reach a full melt pool by hour 4. So now we're at the 4-hour mark. TCR wick hasn't quite made it. Stabilo wick has caught up a bit. CL wick, perfect. So a day later, we've had another burn test, a 5-hour burn test, just to see how they perform. And to be honest, I think all the wicks are doing pretty well. The CL wick is definitely doing the best. But overall, I'll give this wax a 7 out of 10. Really good scent throw, sets nicely, kind of a few wet spots and a few bumpy spots, but I think a lot of these can be adjusted. Well done, you made it to the end. Like and subscribe. Thanks!